Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Semi-Professional Academic Podcast. As always, I am your host with the most suburban legends vibe, Jacob Watts. And joining me today is the hilarious, the talented, the almost criminally insane Reece Hunter.
Wow, that's quite an intro. You didn't really leave much to the imagination, did you?
No,
Hello, hello.
very descriptive for my audience here. How are you, Reece?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Next question.
That's a loaded question to ask. That's a loaded question to ask a student in a grad school program.
I know, that's why I do it. But
Yeah,
oh my
and I was
God.
like, well, I guess we can say we're doing good. The semester just started for me on Monday, so
Yeah.
like
No,
I'm still like warming up.
yeah, no, the semester, this at the time of filming this, this is the end of week one. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never been so humbled by a week so quickly. And I have self-esteem issues. I don't need to be humbled like this severely.
But I know exactly what you're talking about because I have been there too many times to count.
No. And it's never a like it's never a suggestion. It's always a like,
No,
listen.
yeah, it's never like a constructive criticism thing. It goes straight for like your most insecure like points about yourself and somehow just makes them worse.
It it'd be like your embarrassing memory, most embarrassing memory was pulled from your brain and projected onto a PowerPoint slide for 500 people to see, and everybody critiqued it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a good first week of classes.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of unexpected. But it was one of those it was one of those pleasant surprises.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We love those. Those are rare to come by in grad school, so we'll take those.
Exactly. I was kept every time whenever I woke up, I was like, okay, that shoe's gonna drop and something's gonna punch me right in the face. But it didn't come this week. But next week exams start, so we'll see what happens then.
I that feeling needs to be studied because I swear there's like a unifying, like how an undergrad when a class would bond not bomb would bond over how much they're gonna bomb a final.
Oh yeah.
Same feeling of all grad students and professional students having that ominous feeling that just something bad's going to happen, like at some point.
Yeah. We had there was several like because last semester I was in a bacteriology course. And there were several times that they talked about how basically stress was the main factor when combined with that disease that would cause death. And we're like, huh, that's very interesting. Um, maybe we just shouldn't get too deep into those stressful diseases because the amount of jokes that were said was shocking.
I swear, I feel like every grad student is very good at using dark humor to deal with stress and death.
Yeah, and I feel like healthcare workers and or like any kind of like the yeah like professionals in the healthcare sciences and things like that are so much worse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, not even a contest. Not even a contest.
No.
But they're funny, so I
Oh, exactly. We're funny, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, I know. And like honestly a double-edged sword. I'm not going to lie. Like I at one hand I wish I wasn't stressed all the time, but the other time I'm just like, where would my sparkle go?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I tell all my friends too, because they're whenever I like finally got on some like anxiety medication because just from coming down, like this was a very big change for me, and things got a little overwhelming.
Mhm.
And then whenever they were like, I think like my friends that were very respectful about it, they're like, I think maybe we should kind of look into this. And that's quite literally what I said. I was like, but what if I'm not funny anymore?
That's what I said about going to counseling. I was like, what if like what if I lose my humor and like I
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on this counseling stuff because I say something that I think is funny and I don't think is like indicative of any kind of process going on in my like psyche.
no.
And as soon as I say it and I giggle, next thing I know, she's writing little notes in her notebook and right in front of me.
Oh, no, the same thing happened to me. So this is a story for everybody. So my counselor Rachel, I miss her so much. I started seeing her when I started my master's because yikes. But anyways, I like went to see her. I forget exactly what I said, but like I said something like instead of saying like I'm gonna jump off the point, I said I was gonna go jump off the castle because it was like the highest point on campus. And like she's writing
Yeah,
notes. I was just like, "Oh, you gonna use that one?" Like I thought
yeah.
she was gonna like copy me. And she goes, "No." And I was like, well, what are you writing then if it's not like how to like deliver a punchline? And
Yeah.
she goes,
I was like,
just saying this. And then she goes, why do you feel the need to make jokes like when you're like stressed out or upset? And I was like, because I'm funny. And then she goes, very loudly, by the way, she starts writing, uses humor to deflect feelings of insecurity.
and I, mm, ouch.
I, I was and I was like, was I silent or was I silenced?
Exactly. And you're like, okay. Um,
Okay, that was rude. We did not need to
yeah,
go.
also throwback to the jumping off the point. Oh my gosh, I haven't said that in years.
I know, but like at this point, like that was like only like 6 months out, so it was like a fresh. It wasn't
Yeah.
such a deep cut. It was like a surface wound.
Yeah. I was like, that's like I was talking with oh my God. So she introduced me, like introduced herself and everything like that. And like we got like very, I don't want to say non-professional, we got very comfortable very quick.
Yeah.
And I cannot for the life of me remember her name, and I'm in too deep to ask. And that causes me stress that I can't even talk to her about.
Wait, are you still seeing her?
Yes. I'm in too deep to be like, so remind me of your name again. So I'm about to do like a deep dive into just like the campus directory and see if I can find her.
Oh, that's what I would do. I would never admit weakness. I would never admit
Mm-mm.
the
Mm-mm.
the way I would inconvenience myself to prove that point.
Yeah, like, and we don't even have like a coffee shop, so we can be like, "Oh, let me get you a cup of coffee," and then they scream her name out. No, it doesn't happen. So yeah, that's. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, this is causing me stress, but a funny stress, and I can't talk to you about
Yeah. You'd be
it.
like, if you take out the fact that I forgot who you are, this is hilarious.
This is, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I was like, you're only the person on this island that knows more about me than half my family. And if we just think about the fact that I can't remember your name, I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah. You know?
But knowing her, she'd probably write some little note down.
Uh, probably be like, oh no, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm a counselor's kid. That's just like an unfair. Uh, all that aside, Reese, can you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Yeah, totally. Let's backtrack a little bit. So my name's Reece Hunter. I went to a very small high school in my hometown. Then from there, I went to Hanover College, majored in bio. I took a nice little gap year after that, just to kind of let the pandemic die down and kind of save up some money. And I am currently enrolled at Ross University School of Veterinary Medicine in the island country of St. Kitts, which is in the Caribbean.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh,
So as coming from a small high school myself, do you remember like how big your graduating class was?
my graduating class was the biggest in several years at, I believe, 112.
I had 95.
Gotcha. Yeah, so
Very,
not terrible. Yeah, pretty
so, like,
comfortable.
very similar vibes. I hate when people
Yeah.
say they're from like a small high school and they say like 400. Like,
Oh, yeah. Uh-uh.
no, no. Baby, I've come from a city with one stoplight. Don't
We don't even have a stoplight in Monrovia. We
see.
need one. These those people need. Ugh.
We have one for aesthetic. I'm not even sure if it's used. Like really.
It's just that blinking stoplight like in Cars.
Honestly, honestly real. Like that where it's at should be like a caution light, if anything. But I think like I don't even know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know law. It's all made up anyway.
Oh, yeah,
Um
exactly.
oh my goodness. So
The only law I know comes from Legally Blonde, and that's it.
not gonna lie, that movie almost inspired me to be a lawyer. Like the way
That's amazing.
I feel like I totally could do it because but I could only do it if I could be as cunty as Elle Woods.
Oh, absolutely. You want so I'm gonna say something that's gonna make you very jealous.
Okay.
Um so one like how familiar are with RuPaul's Drag Race?
Uh Reese?
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No, I know.
So like
What? No
like
one's
I
gonna know that reference at all. What I just said, they're gonna be like, "Why can't this bitch hear him?"
so anyway, like one of my like close friends that I was very happy to like become friends with
Mhm.
is Blair St. Clair.
I love Blair St. Clair.
I as do I. So we became good friends. And she actually started the indie drag theater, which is started out literally there was I think seven of us. She did it all from the ground up. Like I have so much respect for her because she's continued to like produce shows. We started with Wicked, where there was like seven of us, and then the second show we did was Legally Blonde.
Mhm.
And when I tell you that everything about that show popped off, it was insane. And then they continued to do shows, and they most recently did Mean Girls.
Oh,
So there's actually a meme of one of the like performers. It was going around like all of these really important like gay memes page or whatever like that. And it was whenever she gets hit by the bus and she does like a one-handed cartwheel and like freaking death drops to the floor.
oh,
And I was like, that was our little tiny drag theater that got put on all these things. And so yeah, I was actually in the drag production of Legally Blonde.
that's so cool. Were you in
Yeah.
drag?
No, I was not in drag. I was Emmett.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. I could see
Yeah.
that.
So like, and I was acting like alongside Blair, who was Elle,
Yeah.
and we had so much fun.
Honestly, like I think she's just so talented.
Watching her perform live
It's so
to
much
this
better.
day is still one of my favorite like things to do. And I like obviously like I'm like Indiana, really.
Yeah, really
So
cool.
like whenever we get something like that, we're like it's it's something.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you like kind of highlight that because I feel that I don't know. I hate not I shouldn't say hate, that's rude. But I feel like if you judge drag entirely and like drag performers entirely on based off what you see of them like on Drag Race, you really are not understanding just how amazing and like how hardworking these performers are.
Oh yeah. Because like obviously we're only meant to see the fun side of everything.
Yeah.
And of course, then whenever you get like some like on a reality show like that, they're gonna try to like, oh, let's twist it this way and show this and portray him that way. But no, like actually being in like the back room, like whenever I was getting ready, and then like watching these girls beat their faces, pad, tuck, and then get dressed, I was like, that's a lot of work.
I don't think I could ever tuck. Like I just don't think I'm like mentally tough enough to do it.
Oh my god, like I don't know how they did because I they I felt like such a freaking like the straight boy at the sleepover because I was like I don't even know how you guys like do that. And then they're like they're like, well look, like just like it's not weird, just like we're gonna show you. And like watching the process of tucking, I was like I, I was speechless. I
I would be too.
was like,
So
oh my god.
not not entirely transitioning, but like kind of like on that. So did you see yourself like growing up like in that small like school like in that environment to like being involved in like a drag production theater?
Oh, never, never. So I was like, I like obviously, ugh, I love my hometown because you have to. Um,
Real.
no, I was like, but no, like, I mean, where I come from, the people are honest. Like, you can't say everyone, but the people are amazing. Like, they really are great. But like, we never had any kind of representation like that in the community. We still don't, just because it's just not. It's a small rural farming community that's very like non-denominational Christian, or if you're not, you're basically like Baptist, and that's like a pretty. You don't go against the Bible on that. Whenever I was growing up, like it wasn't really something I didn't even know what it was. Like for the longest time I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know drag. I didn't know anything as far as like the queer community. Until like I myself started questioning my identity. And then once I kind of figured it out like how I myself identified, I was like, okay, I have a whole nother part of my life to experience and kind of explore. And we dove headfirst. And I was like, I didn't know, like, because like some of my personal friends that I didn't like, I went to high school with, they were actually drag queens that were performing in indie. And I was like, no freaking way.
That's so cool. I think I come from an environment that's very, very similar. And I kind of like what you kind of like echoing like your sentiment. Like I feel like there's a lot of support, but at the same time, like queer community, queer representation is just not there like at all.
Yeah.
And like I'm from Southern Indiana, so like the queer kids for like from where I'm from, we had to go to Louisville to like to go to play or to go to drag shows.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't even really like, because by the time that I actually knew like who I was and things like that, I was like already at Hanover. So like I didn't have like any kind of scene like that to go to whenever I was home. And then by the time that I was like I was 21 and could actually go to bars and things like that, I was already in a relationship. So I was like, I didn't really go to bars that often.
Mhm.
And I was like, it wasn't still part of that like scene, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
But it's definitely like something like you could never looking back, you can see like, oh yeah, I had teachers that like were supportive and things like that. They never outright said it,
Mhm.
but they were like, obviously, they're like, no question. But
Oh.
there was never the queer representation like outright.
Mhm. Yeah. And that's why I'm here. No I'm kidding.
I was like Natalia Hubbs, come on,
I words
absolute icon.
I love her so much. Like I this is no tea, no shade, but like out of all, at least in my out of the professors I interacted with, out of all of the STEM professors that I interacted with, hands down, like the most supportive. Like it's not even a competition.
Yeah, and like I mean, I was a Meinhardt gal myself.
Mhm.
Like she was my like academic advisor and everything like that, and that woman was so calming. Like she like could calm me down to my very soul. And of course, I was like I was wound tighter than a banjo string during undergrad, and that woman was just a godsend.
Mhm. Do you feel like part of like that feeling? Because I don't know, I feel like I was very similar during undergrad, and then I came out sophomore year, and I don't know, some things of my life got easier, some things got harder. So
Um,
I don't know how.
I think it definitely plays like an aspect into everything.
Mhm.
But like for me, like all my anxiety in undergrad, it came straight because like everything that I've done academically since I started school,
Mhm.
like back in all the way back to middle school and stuff like that, was basically just to get here so I could get into that school.
Mhm.
Um, so I always told myself like I never wanted to like to come out in school and stuff like that because that becomes like the label that gets put in front of all the other labels.
Mhm.
So, and because it would have been like, oh, that's Reece. He's the gay track athlete. He's the gay biology student, or he's the gay like that, whatever. And I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't want it to undermine anything that I did in those fields or like anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the people that knew. Um,
Yeah. No offense, girl. The closet was glass.
right? Like once I became comfortable with myself, I let myself kind of do that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, things that I did. I was like, yeah, like if you don't know, then you're choosing not to see it.
Yeah, like I thought like I was like, wow, I could win an Oscar for how undercover that I was. And I was just like looking back, I was like, wow, I couldn't have won a daytime Emmy participation.
Ah! Yeah, but we still gotta let ourselves believe that it was believable.
Yeah. We did win Hanny Awards though,
We did win those handies.
that you did not show up to. I'm still upset. No, I'm not kidding.
Honestly, like I had no idea that I was even nominated for those things.
No, Reece, this is my you were invited, Ellen. We told you about it multiple times, and we sent out the you could say you forgot, but don't lie on my show about this.
It's like I cannot remember anything about the handies until it was just, hey, you won this, and I was like, I didn't even know I was nominated.
No, this is some behind the. So, for those of you who don't know, the Hanny's Awards were honestly the peak of my mental instability. Um, but I was like, this year sucks, and like mine Reese's good friend Cindy Claypool and I were just like, you know what? Like,
Love her. Still obsessed with everything she does.
I am seeing her tomorrow, and I'm so excited.
I'm very jealous. Like I'm like one of those people that like stalks her and like occasionally be like, I am so proud of you, and I'll just like message her that. But like I have never stopped rooting for Sydney Claypool.
Same. If Cindy Claypool has a million fans, I'm one of them. If she has 10 fans, I'm one of them. If she has one fan, it's me. If she has no fans, I'm dead.
You're dead. Exactly.
No. And I love her. And but we were both just so down bad. So we thought, like, this year kind of sucks. Like, what if we had, and I was recently rewatching The Office at the time. So I was like,
It's like it was literally like the Hanover Dundies.
I almost called that, but I felt like the Haney Awards was like funnier.
Yeah.
So, and I had my ID because I was doing research, and I got us into this building, and I sent out a Google Sheets forum of like categories that I made up, and I I made it very clear that everyone was going to win something because I felt like no one was winning in 2021. No one was winning. We had a horrible, horrible time. People were dying. And I was just like, you know what? I'll be damned if another thing gets taken away. And
There's people that are dying.
I know. Like, yeah, and I thought like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, I'm going to give people a good time if it fucking kills me. So the way like I invited people and I was like, okay, da 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 da, invite all these people, and people got to do the Google form, and not to brag, but I won every category, so I had to like just like go like, and some of those were not, some of those I was like glad to win, and some of them I was just like, oh, this was humbling, like
Humbling.
very humbling. So, but I was just like, okay, whatever one I had the most votes for, I'm taking that one. Everyone else is like winning all these things. I shouldn't say I won every category. Like I won like multiple, but but I was just doing this, and I was just like, everyone's winning something. I don't give a shit because I personally for any
This is my
category,
idea, and you guys are all lucky I even invited you.
no, I was just like, I love these people, and like it's not my fault that I'm just a fucking Beyonce in a school full of Michelles. I'm kidding. I'm 100% kidding.
Full on Gretchen Wieners moment. I can't help it that everybody likes me.
I, I'm fully fucking kidding. I won like maybe 3 categories out of the 25. Like it's not that. But I was like, I just wanted to do something very nice. And then the way that me and Sydney both like stayed up, we were planning this. Like we had like full on outfits like for this award ceremony. We had intros, we had music. Like we were Like this was a production. And the fact that like maybe 6 people came.
I honestly, like, I remember you guys doing this. I remember the handies. I remember the pictures that I saw, but I don't remember anything about it.
That's because we were all drunk when we did it.
Okay, see, I was wondering, I was like, what? Because like, when was this?
This was
And I was like,
like
we
this was like in April of senior year.
April of senior year. Okay. I'm trying to think of whenever, like, because I was like, I would have still been competing in April, and if it was on a weekend, all my weekends are like forked because of track. But I swear to God, the duo, like you and Sydney together, was some of the funniest shit.
Oh, thank you. We try. We try.
No, you guys didn't. That's what made it funny. Like I know for a fact you guys didn't fucking try to be funny.
I don't I no, we did try to be funny, but we were never funny when we tried. When we
Okay, that's a
when,
great way to put it.
when we just like I swear, like looking back at like the shit and things that I just did at Hanover, I was like, how am I not in a mental institution?
Oh my God, like it would have been, what was that? It would have been my junior year. Oh God, that was whenever I was at OChem. Talk about down bad. Um,
Oh, dude, I took OChem and genetics at the same time. And then I took OChem second semester again.
that's horrible. Anyway, that was whenever we had the track shack. Um, so that was six of us. Like everyone at Hanover knew the track team was already a cult. And within that cult, there were already like deeper rings to that, like whatever you want to call it. And so like there was most of us that were like the team leaders and like the stuff like that were like in charge of practice most of the time, like for our different groups. We all got an apartment. So it was me, Kyler Perez,
Mhm.
there was um Alexis Gerke,
Love her.
Ken's Carol,
Love them. Love them very much.
yeah, talk about an unhinged duo. And then there was my sister Kenna and Michelle Witt, all six of us living together in one apartment. Like literally, I I don't know how we survived that year, because that was obviously the year that like whenever like everything got shut down from COVID at the end, like going into May term and stuff like that. Still pissed, but whatever.
Robbed. Robbed. I'll say this to the day I die. Class of 2021 was robbed way more than 2020. I
Yeah,
like it's not even a competition.
yeah, you can't keep playing the victim. But anyway, like that track shack, like the amount of times that we should have gotten, I don't know, fined, kicked off of campus, or like whatever. Like I don't know if what would does is Fallstick or any one of them still listen to your podcast? You know,
I don't know. I have fans everywhere.
period.
This was named the second best academic podcast of 2023. So
Damn, good for you.
I mean, you know, when you're just that girl, I mean,
I was like, can you? I was like, I mean, you don't have to be an icon that hard, but okay. You sound like freak. Okay, so did you obviously see Nikki's New Year's resolution?
my New Year's resolution is to keep my foot
My foot on
bit
these bitches.
neck.
I was like, uh huh, yeah, okay.
Honestly, she is.
Mother. Obviously, I don't listen to male artists, but
Why?
like, I just
I mean, like, why would you? Like their lack of vocal range, their lack of creativity.
thank you. Literally, Ariana Grande's new single that dropped today, and you're gonna tell me that I'm not going to be obsessed with it? She has a 4 octave range. What
Gag.
man competes with that?
No, none. I
Thank
mean, like
you.
there are some that are pretty that I look at
Well,
because you
yeah, but that's all they're good for.
spill. I I tell people all the time the worst part about being gay, honestly, is not the homophobia because like we can handle that. It's never anything new. It's just different forms.
The men.
It's being attracted to men. Being attracted to men is
Yeah.
the most humbling and embarrassing thing of my entire life.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. Obviously, like I went through the whole like, oh my god, like this is the worst thing in my life. If I woke up straight tomorrow, do you know how pissed I would be?
Oh, I'd be so pissed.
I
I
would like it that would ruin my life.
I I fully mean this. I just don't think I was built to be straight. I am a gay man who is a liberal that looks like a Republican. I know that. But like you spend 5 seconds talking to me and you're like, oh no.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm a man in like the veterinary field. Like statistically, there's way more gay guys in the veterinary field than straight. Not clearly not at my school. Major bummer, but whatever. Not bitter.
You you're in an island and there's majority straight men.
Yes. So that's
Oh,
actually
you were robbed. You were
I was
so
so robbed. But yeah, interestingly enough, technically, um I haven't really looked too much into it after I talked to one of my like counselor, like the admissions counselors. Because technically, like you're not allowed to be gay here.
what?
Yeah, it's still one of those countries. Um, I guess like the law legit says like it can be like jailed. You can be jailed for being gay, but it's basically more like a don't ask, don't tell thing nowadays.
Oh, Reece, sweetie.
I know, literally, like
That's
it's
why.
been
That's
it's
why.
actually that is one thing that I have talked to my therapist. Give me a second, I'll remember her name.
No,
Um,
don't out her in case the thing. It's just been heard in 30 countries. We don't want to take the risk.
literally, like so. No, that's what I've had to talk to like with her about because I was like I had to leave that like part of my personality at home. Um, obviously, like I have my friends that are like you're pretty much the gayest person that I know, and I'm like, okay, you don't know that many gay people then.
Uh, there's some I fully love the gay community. There's some gays that scare me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've let myself have a lot more fun. And I was like, I'm because like if I'm going straight to campus, I'll wear whatever I want. Like I've been really getting really into crop tops lately. Cause like I have new tattoos that I really want to show off. So I was like, I'm gonna wear a couple crop tops. And in Barbie font, it literally says bimbo.
Reese, that is like the most stereotypical ever heard. Your
Yeah. And I was like,
your hair is
for the
fucking
people
your hair is your
I was
hair
gonna say for the people listening to this podcast, I currently have bottle blonde hair right now because your boy went through a breakup and had gotten new tattoos and dyed his hair. Okay,
Okay, this is for all the straight people watching. If a gay man dyes his hair blonde,
run away.
run away. He is going through love you, Reese, but he's going through a severe mental breakdown. Needs to be stayed far, far away from.
I can't even be mad. I can't even because it's so damn true. Like my, uh, and okay, at least I'm in like the blonde era. That's the thing. I was like, at least I didn't go straight to like a mustache era with the blonde. Okay,
That would have been a lot.
a lot. Because I was like the mustache gays, the girls that can do it, like do it, and I'm like
I'm
that's
I'm so jealous.
and I was like, but that's yeah, I went blonde and we made sure to try to have more fun. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you a blonde before or no?
um like my hair, it was kind of like a very dark, like dirty blonde kind of stuff like that. But like it would get lighter in summer just because I was outside all the time. But I was never like a blonde blonde.
Same. I have very dirty blonde hair, similar like in the summer, like it turns like very
Mm-hmm.
blonde. But apparently that's like a trend now. They're calling it blonde.
Blonde.
Yeah.
Who is making that a trend?
The TikToker people.
Okay, see, they don't deserve rights either. They're right up there with straight men.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my defense of why I went blonde, one, the Barbie movie had just come out.
Facts. That is justifiable.
It's like, and two, I was going through a breakup. Those two things cannot coexist without my hair being dyed. It had to be dyed. It honestly wasn't even like a choice for me.
Yeah. Okay. So we kind of brushed on it like a little bit, but You know, you always wanted to go into vet school,
Mhm.
but was there ever any doubts in your mind getting there? And please feel free to correct me on this if my facts are wrong, but I've read statistically that it is 3 times more difficult for someone to get into veterinary school than it is to get into medical school.
Yes. Mainly the main reason for that statistic is because there's just fewer veterinary schools.
Mhm.
So like the competition is pretty stiff, but uh looking back, like because like whenever I was at like high school, like I graduated with like it was like a 4.0, and then I got to Hanover and I think I finished with like I don't know, 3.5 maybe, nothing
That's
like
good. That's
crazy.
honors, though.
Yeah, it was like with honors.
Mhm.
So then like once I did that, like I was talking to a couple, like I had plenty of veterinarians like to get into contact with, and I was like, hey, this is what I want to do, these are my grades, this is my act like extracurriculars, stuff like that. And they were always like, you should have no problem, like just make sure your letter of recommendation and your like personal essay are like just not dog shit, and you shouldn't have a problem.
Mhm.
My actual problem in itself was finding a vet school that I actually wanted to go to.
Mhm.
Because obviously, like I live in Indiana and I only live like an hour away from Purdue. People are like, "Oh, so you're going to Purdue?" I never wanted to go to Purdue. I really didn't.
You didn't want to be a
Um,
Boilermaker?
I have no like I have a lot of respect for the Purdue like clinics and stuff like that. They do a lot of diagnostics and things like that for us, and a lot of like the farmers around us use them. But like it's a very large animal dominated like practice and things like that. And no hate to the large animal veterinarians out there, but I was like, I would rather die. It's like I used to think I wanted to be a large animal vet, and then like once I started learning about things, learning about like the logistics of like actual large animal medicine, like I love working with the cattle and the donkeys and like everything like that we have here on campus, but like the actual ways, it sounds like, because everyone says vets are money hungry and stuff like that, but like all in all, like it's still a business that you have to be able to keep the lights on to be able to make money as a large animal veterinarian is so hard. But also I learned that horses just want to die. Literally everything about a horse is designed to try to like kill it. It's ridiculous. They should not, like, they make no sense to me.
Yeah. I love horses though. They're like, oh, I twisted my ankle. Time to go die. Like,
Literally, like I love horses and I have always wanted a horse, everything like that. But like everything that I learn about horses in vet school, it's just like, don't do it. Don't do it.
yeah.
But
Unless you want to
I
come to
want to,
Washington. We love horses down here.
right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
But
the way, so there's a racetrack here called Keeneland.
mhm.
And when it opens, I kid you not, like downtown empty. They're all at Keeneland.
Like I just like I love horses and everything about that. It's just the medicine behind them is a nightmare.
You breathe wrong, you killed 5 of them.
Exactly. You can look at like literally just you look at a horse wrong and it's gonna get colic, and then
Me,
well, have fun.
me. I feel like I'm a mix of Tinkerbell and a horse. If I don't get enough attention, I'll die. And at the most minor inconvenience, I want to give up and die as well.
But yeah, I mean, for me, I've never like I always told myself, because everyone, whenever you say you want to be a veterinarian, everyone's like, "Oh, that's a really hard like that's a lot of school and that's really hard to get into. Do you think you can do it?" And I got to the point that I got tired of hearing that, so I just started saying, "I was like, nothing is going to stop me."
Ah, I love that. I will put myself through hell to prove a point. I honestly,
Yeah, I was like, I'm kind of just doing it out of spite at this point.
hey, spite is a great motivator. I've got three
Uh,
degrees from it so far.
Absolutely. So whenever it finally came time and I got my acceptance letter and everything like that, like I was very excited. Um, I was, like I said, I took a gap year. So while I was doing that, I was working as a technician, well, a vet assistant, like as a technician, in my hometown clinic. I was getting really big into dog shows.
Hmm.
So that was like a new thing that I'd pick it up. Like I got myself a Dalmatian, and he and he's a show pup. So like that was what I was always doing in my spare time. Like I was either working or going to dog shows.
Hmm.
And then got my acceptance letter and decided to move 2,000 miles away to live alone on an island. Do you know how scary it is to move into an apartment that you've only seen pictures of online?
Yeah.
Like it was, I was convinced whenever like I landed, I was like, this may have been a scam, and I might have just like paid someone all this money to like have nowhere to live. But it all worked out. Like I mean, I love my apartment. Um, like they drive on the opposite side of the road here.
So like in England?
Yeah, like in England. Yep. So there's like that. The money, like the currency is there's a different exchange rate. So everything like that. It was just took a lot. There was a steep learning curve.
Mhm.
But the beaches are pretty, the drinks are strong, and can't really beat much else.
There's not to diminish, but Reese is talking about like, oh, this is so depressing. I'm gonna go have a margarita on the beach and the fucking all this like
Okay, that's also a good reason of why like I came here. I was like, if I'm gonna go through hell of school, I might as well do it in paradise.
honestly, you know what? You ate that, honestly. Like that was such a boss move.
Right? I was
So
like, it's an accelerated program. So like we instead of doing two, we do 3 semesters a year. So I'll actually be done on the island in about 16 months. So I have another year and 4 months, and then I start my clinical rotations.
nice. Will you do clinical rotations on the island or will you?
No, so we do it with an affiliate school. So like, um, I could like they have them all over the U.S. and a couple other um, like countries as well. So some of my friends like they would go to Texas, like or Tennessee. There's a really good school in Colorado. I still have plenty of shit to get through before I can even think about clinicals. But currently, I really like the idea of going to Missouri,
Hmm?
just because they have a really nice small animal surgery and internal medicine program.
Oh, cool.
But I also have not hated the idea of applying to the Royal Veterinary College in London.
Oh,
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to go back to small town Indiana yet. And I was like, let's see what it's like. I mean, I'm going to look into it. Doesn't mean I have to go.
yeah. I mean, do what you want.
Right.
Like
And I was like, I just had like this image in my head of like, I'm walking my Dalmatian down the streets of London. Like, come on now.
it's giving Cruella, honestly.
Yeah.
I
And I
love.
was like, Jennifer Lawrence has a Dalmatian. And like, there's this really cool picture of her as she's walking her dog, and one of them's a Dalmatian. And obviously, I mean, she's obviously not in London, but I was like, I feel like I could look like that.
Yeah.
It's the vibes I'm going for.
You recreate that look and then like get it on like who wore it better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm going to open myself up to be that humbled, but yeah.
No. I mean, hey, I don't think anyone can be more humbled by thinking they look like a celebrity than that girl that New York said, Beyonce, sweetie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that an ugly ass bitch like this would even say that. Oh my God.
Oh, you can't come back from that.
No, like if someone said that to me, no one would ever see me ever again.
Never. Uh-uh.
Never.
Like
Like
name change, documents burned, facial reconstruction, new location.
liposuction, Ozempic, like the whole.
We love an Ozempic queen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I actually know somebody who's on Ozempic right now.
Are you serious?
I'm being dead ass. And they're taking it and they're posting it like already seeing progress. I was like, no shit, bitch. Like you went to the gym one time. You've been on Ozempic for like 3 months. Let's be real. And I'm not shading any of the Ozempic girlies. Like, you know what? It's 2024. If you're not hurting anybody, do what you want. But don't lie.
Exactly.
We all know. We all know.
Exactly. Like, why lie? Just own it.
Yeah.
because I'm like, ugh, I my twink ass is in the gym like every freaking morning, and like I'm sweating and hating my life. But I was like, I have an idea of how I want to look, and I was like, and if I'm posting a gym progress picture, I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. I was like, I'm feeling good, and I'm kind of gonna brag about it.
As you should. No, like so like as like a bigger person, like when we graduated Hanover, I was 310. And now I'm like 250, 245. And like
Yeah.
I'm in the gym, like on the treadmill, not lifting weights too much because honestly, I do not want to get any muscle. I just want to shrink, but that's a whole nother topic. But like I literally walk to and from school and lab every day, and then I'm on the treadmill for like for like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours every night.
Good lord.
Well, girl, I breathe and I gain 10 pounds.
See,
Like
and I was like, I know you don't want to hear this because no one ever wants to hear it. Like, I have to fight for my life to try to gain weight.
I wish I could give that to you. Like you could do something with that.
Just do something with it. Yeah.
like
And I was like, and it was so bad. Cause like, I mean, obviously, like even at Hanover, like I've never been a big person, like tall. I'm not that tall. I'm not that short. Like I'm not muscular. I'm just thin. I'm built like a beanpole.
well,
And
no, you had like muscle on you. Like you were toned, like for sure.
oh
From
yeah, okay, I was toned. That was just because I ran off everything else that wasn't muscle. um, so like whenever I came here, I usually am clocked in like like right at 150, maybe 155.
Mhm.
And I was going through first semester, like I obviously so my first semester down here, like first time going through classes, getting through like labs, like exams, lab practicals, things like that. I was a freaking mess. And I was like, I forgot to eat all the time. Like, I had to set an alarm in my phone to remind me to eat at certain times. And I think like I actually lost, don't know how I lost the weight, but I got down, like I was almost into like the 130s.
Damn.
Yeah. And like, because whenever my mom came to visit and everything, like she was like, what are you not doing? Like, you need, like, what is going, like, you look like you're sick. And I was like, okay, so you think I look skinny? Thank you. Um,
Oh, that's like the scene in Devil Wears Prada. It's like, thanks. I'm one flew away from my goal.
yeah, I'm one stomach flew away from my goal weight, literally. But I was like, so it's coming back from that. Like, I'm trying to do better at like, I I literally only eat freaking grilled chicken and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and shit like that.
Ew.
Because they're like, well, it's all in your diet. You need to eat your diet better. And I'm like, I'm going like miserable because they're like, you need to have this many calories and all of this. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop doing all of that. I'm gonna go to the gym, work out, and eat what I want. Whatever happens, happens.
Honestly, like I mean, there's always, and like I know women will understand this, but like in gay world, there's always some aspect of like gay aesthetic that you're never meeting.
Yeah.
Like it's you have like everybody wants either like the roided himbo boyfriend or the skinny twink with like the fattest ass on the planet.
Which that does not happen. Because I was
No.
like I literally like I'm like twink otter, whatever the hell. And I was like, everything about me was completely like I had no pecs, my ass was not there. Like I had, like I just literally like basic run of the mill twink.
Mhm.
And of course, like whenever you like look at everything else, like social media really sucks, but it's one of those things that you're like, I can't like get rid of it.
No. Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like I don't know if it's just been my experience, or like the group that I've been around, which has actually been a really healthy group. So I was like, we have like all kinds, and everyone's like, yeah, I mean, we work out, or we also like go get donuts every Saturday, like, and they don't try to like fat shame or body shame anyone. Like the amount of times that I've been told like I'm too skinny is probably just the amount of times that anyone else has been said like, oh, they're too fat. And it goes both ways just because I was like, they think it's a compliment. And like, obviously, yeah, it sounds like a compliment. You're like, oh my God, you're so skinny. Okay. Thank you. But that also doesn't make me feel great.
No, it's especially then. I'm no skinny legend. I'm a thick icon. I know that. But um it got annoying when people comment like on my ass because like I like my ass. I think like my ass is fine. And like it's the best part about me, I'm not gonna lie. But
Not your
it,
smart mouth, clearly.
no, not my degrees, not my smart mouth, not my iconic behavior. It is my fat, juicy ass.
Dump truck.
Dump truck of ass. But it got annoying when um and like I'm not and like people I know they mean well on this, but like it got annoying when like I wish I had as much fat on you as you on you so I can have an ass like yours.
Right?
And I was like, that's even like take out of the context of like desirability. Just not every opinion needs to be heard.
That's a say that louder for the people in the back because not every opinion needs to be heard. That's a great point. And like I don't ever try to I don't ever try to feel like, oh yeah, I've had it so hard. Like obviously I'm a thinner guy. Like that in itself, like in the gay community, is already like putting me ahead of other people.
Mhm.
And I was like, whenever I was like I'm a thin guy, like I have like a baby face whenever I shave, but I also have chest hair like a 70s porn star.
For those for
So
those of you who aren't seeing it, like I see it, like the hair goes up to like the collarbone.
yeah, like it's so I was like, there's always these things that like people like whenever I did start going to the bars, like it was nice to get that attention just because like I would wear like the freaking hoochie daddy shorts because my legs were the only thing muscular about me from running track. And I was like, yeah, there were nights where I didn't have to pay for a single one of my drinks and it felt really
Oh,
good.
I love nights like those.
Right?
Like, oh my,
But
I, but yeah, no, I totally get it. And I don't know, like that but like as like a queer student as well, like in academia and in higher education, there's all these other caveats they have to deal with because you have to deal with most of the time old white man professors who literally old enough to be your grandfather sometimes. You
yep.
have, you have to deal with the homophobia. You have to deal with the most ugly mid-ass straight men thinking that you're hitting on them when literally you are actively
Yeah.
telling them to go away. And then you also have to deal with the fact that a lot of times, and like in your case, especially right now, you're the only queer person in the room.
Yeah. And so kind of pivoting on that. The one good I shouldn't say the one good thing. One very good thing about this is we have a lot of like ethnic and like people of color and marginalized things like that as professors. Oh my god. And like every single one of them is almost drop dead gorgeous.
See, I couldn't
like
handle that. I couldn't handle being
like
humble.
oh no. So literally like I was in his Dr. Gutierrez. He was a bacteriology. He did our gram negatives. He had me so focused on lecture because he was there for like 3 weeks. So he was in charge of three of our exams. I got 100% on all three of those exams because I was so delusional and in love with this man that like I specifically went up to ask him a question after lecture. Obviously, I already knew the answer because I wanted just in case if he asked me a question, I could sound smart, sounding talking back to him. With a shirt that says "I heart hot dads." Um,
Yes.
and it was one of those things like I made sure that like he saw it just for my own satisfaction of like I love messing with straight men.
uh soundbite title track, all of it. uh, oh my god. Oh, Misty. But this is unrelated, but like kind of related. Straight men are the gayest people I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've been on like going back to high school and then including college and stuff like that. I was on three like varsity athletic teams.
Mhm.
Like
Mm.
those the like the bus rides to away games or like away meet things like that. Come on. And I was like, that's how you always knew, like, because one of my coworkers, she was like saying, and I think she's like, I was listening to like this, like these guys at a football game, and like they all sounded like they were just completely gay. And I was like, let me tell you something. Straight men can act gay, but you will never see a gay guy in the closet acting straight or acting gay with them, because I was like, they don't want to draw attention to themselves. I was like, so more often than not, you see like, all these straight guys like doing what they're like hanging out with the bros and stuff like that. Which for a time, like there are even some like today, like I have guy friends that are comfortable enough with me, and I'm comfortable enough with them that we have that relationship. But like, I was like, a gay guy is gonna do everything in his power to make you think he's straight until he's ready to be like, oh yeah,
Oh
hey
yeah.
queen,
Good morning, Givatron. Like,
hi gay.
happy Pride Month. The fact they got her as a guest judge on Drag Race was everything. Oh my gosh. But no, that's so real. And this is kind of some tea, but like, my show. So I will never forget that one time me, my house dad, um, and my good buddy Dio, we were
Dionisio.
I know I love him so much. And I love my house dad, Shirley. I don't know if they watch, but like if they do, I love them. If not, I still love them anyway, but like disappointed. But anyways, so we were walking back to the house and we got yelled like the F slur at us. And I was like, first of all, Dio isn't even gay. And then later on, those same motherfuckers that yelled that were hitting me up on Grindr on a DL account.
Period.
And I'm just
Of
like,
course they were.
I know, but like, look at the material. I mean, we're not shocked, but I say this as if I love how I go from like, oh my gosh, like I hate like my body, I hate how I look, to be like, I don't know why everyone wouldn't want to have sex with me. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I have this one, it's this meme, and it's literally like a person that have like a lizard head and they're staring in a mirror, and it says, God complex or body dysmorphia, which one are we doing today? And the amount, like the pendulum of my like personality that goes from God complex to like I'm absolute human garbage.
yeah, same.
And I was like, well, like we're not going to get too far into that because people are gonna be like, yeah, it's called bipolar, and I was like, no, it's not. Okay,
Oh, it's not. I honestly,
it's different.
this is queer people business.
Yeah, take your heteronormative life and stop trying to shove it down my throat. Like, if that's how you choose to live your life, that's great, but don't try to force your beliefs on me.
Hate the sin, love the sinner. Like,
Oh my god! Oh, you did not. Oh, you bitch!
oh, you did not just be like, I cannot support that lifestyle. Like,
Oh,
oh my god.
oh. Love
Oh,
the sinner, hate the sin. Oh my god! Oh god!
oh, come on! I grew up Baptist in a rural community, but I had to hear that for 20 years. Every
Yeah,
time
you and me
way
both.
back, I'm like,
That's why it like cut so deep. Oh my gosh.
but like, honestly though, I hate to say it, the straights, like that's kind of like a cunty saying. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it's
Yeah,
like why,
but
like
they don't ever say it right.
they never do. Like they have, it's
They
like
have all the tools and they do nothing with them.
have the most, do the least.
Speaking of, okay, this is just like another tangent, just because like I have been in the gym and of course like lurking.
Yeah.
Straight men have the fattest asses and do nothing with it. What a waste.
Also, they have the fullest head of hair.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm losing my hair. I'm
Same.
and it's so unfair.
Like I have already said, like whenever I get doctor money, I'm getting that hair transplant.
Oh yeah, you want to split a flight to Turkey to get it done?
Turkey, we're going to Turkey. I was like, absolutely freaking like my sister, freaking absolute icon. She did what she needed to do and she got her titties done. And now she's got the long legs. She's got the full chest and everything, and she's wearing shit and rocking it. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah!
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get my hair done.
I'm gonna get my hair done. I don't know. I got a bag of rich husband first, like while I'm still youthful. Which,
Yeah,
but I do turn 25 this year, so by gay terms, I am dying this year,
I know.
unfortunately.
I was gonna say, I was like, we're both turning 25, and I was like, Twink Death is really coming for me here.
Yeah. Pe- People don't understand. Like people think we're making that up when like people say gay death is 25.
Yeah, it's literally like one of those things because like whenever I had just gotten broken up with last July.
Hmm?
And it's like one of those things like whenever like you break up around this age, they're like, oh, you're still young, like it's all that, whatever. And then you tell it to your gay friends, and they're like, are you gonna get a cat?
Ah, no, oh my gosh, this is tea. So like I was like talking to this one dude who like fully trauma dumped on me and like just split up and left, like horrible person. I still follow him on Instagram because like
Of course.
I never make good decisions. And literally
2020 for the plot.
that part. And he had been dating this man for a year, engaged, like moved across the country, engaged to this man for like dating less than a year.
Okay then.
I know. And I'm just like, and I don't understand like the gays who like have like a new boyfriend and are in love every week.
Yeah. And
Like,
that's like,
good for them, honestly. But like,
yeah,
I don't like that many people.
oh my god. And that's what, so that was like a really big thing like with me. So like my ex and everything, like he didn't do anything wrong. Like I wasn't able to be angry at the breakup. I mean, obviously I was devastated and stuff like that, but like whatever.
Yeah.
He
I
had
like
never,
that, but whatever.
yeah, it's like it's fine. Character development. I'm funnier now, whatever. So like he had never had like an actual like real boyfriend, things like that. And I literally like had to like just fight just to like get an actual date with him. Like obviously didn't fight, but I kept like every time that we would make plans to do something, he would have in his mind that he'd been in his way so long. He was like his mental health and stuff like that. He would just back out. He was like, I don't think I can do it tonight. Like I don't think I can do it tonight. I was like, that's fine. I was like, I'm gonna keep trying. Like I literally told him, I was like, that's fine. You can cancel as many times as you need. I'm gonna keep trying. Just because like I want to take you out on a date. Um, and like eventually, like
I'll take him out. What a gentleman you are, Reece.
and I was like, eventually, like it got to the point like he did get comfortable enough, and like we started like we went on a date, and then we started dating and everything like that, and it was fantastic. It was great. Like I still love him. Like I'm not in love with him, but like I still love him, and I want nothing but the best for him. But I was like, I had to do so much just to get him to a place that he was ready to date. And I was like, whenever we broke up, like he already has a new boyfriend and stuff like that. And I was like, you didn't even like any other humans, let alone wanting to date another man. So I was like, you best believe I walked into that therapy session, sat my bag down, and I was like, so get this.
As you should. Oh, this is tea. So I recently was talking to a man, first mistake. But
We won't hold that against you.
I know we all make mistakes, but we had been talking and we like hung out a little bit every now and then. And then he was like, oh yeah, like I just like really don't think like we're compatible. I just really think we're not gonna work. And I was like, and at first I was like, okay, like like kind of out of left field, but like whatever. And
Yeah.
then he left, and so I was just like, like he was like honest and like at the time, and I thought like, oh,
Yeah, it's like one of those bare minimum things. It's like, wow, it was a man that actually like was upfront about it.
yeah, and I was just like, oh my gosh, awesome. He's got a new boyfriend now, and we were friends, and like we talked about like other people we've dated since then, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, well, I talked about people. He didn't date anybody, but no, nonetheless, uh, and he sends me a picture of him. When I tell you this bitch looks exactly fucking like me, like it is uncanny.
Oh yeah.
Like
That's another thing in the gay community. Like, what is up with people dating people that look like they could be their brother?
I know, and like, hold on,
Like,
I'm gonna show you a picture of him.
oh my God.
It's giving your girl is my clone.
It's like it's giving knockoff, but okay.
Oh, Jacob. Dude.
But like, yeah. I that's one thing, my proud thing. Like my two ex-boyfriends, like none of like we do not look anything alike. I was like, Max looks nothing like Skylar. And I was like, you know what? I'm proud of that in itself.
Yeah. I I don't know
Like,
I don't know what it is, but like I've never dated anyone that looks like me.
neither have I. I was like, I don't even like myself. You think I'm gonna try to date me?
Because then I feel like I'd be in competition with myself.
Right? I gotta outdo you. And I was like, so right now, get this. So, oh yeah, this whole thing is nice and talk about tea. Um, so like I have been talking to someone back home.
Oh, ooh,
Um,
ooh.
I know. I was like, we met each other 2,000 miles apart. I was like, Hallmark movie, kind of cute bullshit.
Oh my,
Um,
oh,
yeah.
oh,
So
not the hallmark.
is what's is there's so many layers to this because like I went home last August, and one of my friends back home set me up on a date. And I was like, I just think you need to go see this guy, like, get your mind off Max. And I was like, go on a date, it'll be fun. Went on a date with Brent. He was a great guy. We just kind of like didn't really go anywhere. And then so I was like, whatever, we're still like friendly. About a couple months later, I slid up on a guy's story, and I was just, or I didn't even slid up, I just liked his story, I think. And like we started talking because like he was from Indiana. I was like, he kind of looks familiar. Yeah, turns out it was Brent's ex fiance.
Oh,
Yeah. So like I had went on a date with Brent, but now I'm actually talking to to Timothy Michael, good old Tim. Um, and so that's how that like the layers and everything started. And I was like, oh my god, because let me tell you, whenever I was like stalking Instagram and saw like that connection, my jaw dropped.
it's always horrible, like when not horrible, but like very dramatic when you piece together all the things.
Yeah, but I was like, it wasn't just like a slight thing. Like they were together for 7 years and engaged for two.
That's a lifetime in gay years.
I know. So I was like, whenever like I was like, oh my god, and like whenever he was telling me about it, I was like, how can I complain about my breakup of like two like 2.5 ish years whenever you had a whole life plan? Like, and I was like, I feel like I need to shut the hell up. But yeah, we're working on kind of securing that bag. He's a doctor of physical therapy.
Ah,
So
good
trying
job.
to have that double doctor income, you know?
Double doctor income, no kids. The
No
date.
kids. Yeah, double doctor income, no kids, gonna have the dogs.
Yeah. Well, I don't
And I was
know.
like, we're manifesting.
Do you want kids or absolutely no?
Absolutely not.
Mhm. I think it's so annoying because I went on it literally. Sometimes I think I'm ugly, and then I also moved to Lexington, and then like the first day I had a date with a man. Like I hadn't even finished moving into my apartment. I had a full on date with a man,
Yeah.
and then I was, and then I was like, it was going well, and
Question that he asked, like, so do you want kids?
no, not that. We were outside, and like this family was walking like with their puppy and like had their baby like in a stroller, and I was just like, oh, this is so Christian Girl Autumn Core. Like, like this is so cute. And he goes, "Ugh, I can't stand that." And I was like, the straights? And he goes, no, those things. And I'm um,
The child?
like their clothes? Or he goes, I don't like pets and I don't like babies. Like, I'm cool with like send them for a little bit, but like get them away from me.
I was like, yeah, like that's how I am with like I have a niece and a nephew, and I can hang out with them for a little bit at a time, but I was like, I don't babysit. I don't wipe snotty noses. Like I can do anything to your pet. Like I've done some really gross shit working in veterinary medicine.
Mhm.
But literally a child's snotty nose makes me want to gag.
No, why is it the most disgusting thing ever?
Like I cannot handle that.
Like, we date men. Like, we naturally, that is disgusting.
Yeah.
But no, I feel that. But I hate it because I think I do want children. I know, a loss to the community.
In
Everyone
this economy,
I never said it was a good plan. Like, but no, because like then I'm thinking like, you know what? I don't want children. I want this, and then I see like a little baby, and I'm just like, I need, I need to be a parent. Not anytime soon. Good God, but like,
Oh, right. It's like, okay, but not to drag you or anything, but seeing you, like, because you know for a fact, if you had a boy, that he would be the straightest thing on the planet, and just watching you raise a straight man,
would be so
hilarious,
funny, so funny.
hilarious.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I love me very much, but I get anxiety going to like get my car worked on because I dress very masculine, like very.
Like straight passing. Like I've always told myself, I was like, people don't necessarily need to look at me and be like, oh, he's gay, unless of course I'm wearing a crop top that says bimbo, but that's neither here nor there.
No, but I'm very straight passing in like the way that I dress, and they all automatically assume I know about cars, and I just don't know if I could handle a
Mm-hmm.
child who is into things like NASCAR,
Oh god, NASCAR's, that's so boring. The only thing good about NASCAR is tailgating.
right? Like my grandpa's really into NASCAR, and literally when I went to his house as a child, all the time, just cars running around in a circle the whole time.
Yep. And I was like, I was like, there's no way to be invested in that.
Yeah. But then when he fell asleep, my grandma let me put on Project Runway. So like it was like honestly the call should not be a shock to anyone.
Oh wow, like that. Yep. That,
So Reese, all that aside, just all the dedication that you put into veterinary, like getting to the path to veterinary school, like just grinding in undergrad, stacking your resume, taking the gap year, getting clinical experience, and choosing to go to an island school of all places. Just when you got your letter of acceptance, like how validating was that to be like, okay, like it's all come together for this?
it was like the only thing that I could really say, I was like, I felt like I could finally breathe
Mm-hmm.
because like I finally got to that point where I was like, you at least got in. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, of course, like I was during my gap year, so it wasn't like I was immediately got my acceptance and had to go to school. I was able to enjoy the fact that I finally got accepted, and I could like actually like celebrate that and have people around me, like my coworkers, my boss, that started training me from like day one whenever I started working at the clinic, and I was like washing kennels.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got up to being I was like whenever our head tech was out of the office, like I was put in charge. Like I was supposed to be like running things and like I knew what I was doing. Like so whenever she was able to like look at me and like hug me and say like congratulations, she's like, I never had a doubt, things like that. Like I felt like I could finally breathe a little bit.
I I think that's so true, and like no academic wants to admit this, but like when you finally get into the program that you worked for years, decades, hell, even maybe your entire life to get to,
Yeah.
there's this. I remember when I got my acceptance to my PhD program, which UK was my number one choice, and it felt like the world was a neon, like like things just felt brighter, more vibrant, like it was.
Yeah. Like you were able to enjoy it like until it started and you had to like start working again.
uh,
But like that's beside the point.
when the challenging degree I applied for becomes challenging.
It becomes judge. Oh my god! Like yeah, because I mean, I had I started working at the clinic that I worked at the end of freshman year at Hanover. So like the 3 summers and then like a full year for like my gap year. So like I had plenty of clinical experience and like I had a lot of knowledge like going into vet school and a lot of like clinical practice as well. So like doing things like a lot of like my surgical skills lab today, it was it was basically like a blood draw lab, which we had one last semester and like they just kind of made it a little bit more difficult this time. And I was like, it was still stuff that I was doing every day, multiple times a day while at work. So it was just nice to kind of have that background, but it's also kind of a setback because what you do in day-to-day practice is not what you have to learn for in school. Like you have to play by their rules, even if there is better ways to do it and some things are really, really stupid. Like you still have to do it for the grade. And then whenever you're able to practice, like obviously it's your license, you can practice how you would like with that's a very loaded statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's definitely been challenging, like unlearning certain things that I have learned and that I did in practice just to have to get myself through school, which has been frustrating. But like obviously you have to have clinical experience to get into vet school. So what do they really want us to do?
You gotta you gotta do what you gotta do. It's like when you're like getting your driver's test and you're like, oh, I would never speed through a yellow light.
Right. And then you're like, I'm pretty sure that wasn't red.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I fully one time just like in Lexington, I like fully like ran a red light in front of like a cop and a paramedic and a fire truck. And I'm just like,
Oh my God. You got all three of them.
I know
And that's the other, so like
the,
here,
the real F Mary kill of our society.
no kidding. Literally. Like here, the traffic laws, there aren't any.
Oh,
So I was like driving for some of my friends, it's so stressful and things like that. I just don't really give a shit. And I'm like, I'm driving on my way and we're making it there. But like just recently for Christmas, my 77-year-old grandma came to visit with my mom.
oh.
And let me tell you, that woman was white knuckling the oh shit handle and like the dashboard and all that just because they drive a little crazy here.
Mhm.
But
No.
so that's definitely something to whenever I visit home, I find myself driving on the other side of the road. And luckily, whenever that has happened, no one's been coming at me. Then I kind of have to swerve over. So it's just a really big, like the cultural differences, especially like on the move, the cultural differences on top of the grad school is probably like the one of the most challenging things about whenever a student decides to come to like Ross because it's like you're not just going to a new school, you have new apartment, new culture, new way to drive, new money, everything. And I was like, I loved it, but I've lost like a couple of friends that have like not made it through the program, and like they said, like the biggest thing was like trying to get used to everything around school.
I thought you meant like they died, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh
I was
no,
sad. And you're like, oh my, I was getting ready to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
no. I guess yeah. I guess like we really shouldn't ever say the phrase like lost someone. Um, but yeah, so like that's like whenever just because the acceptance rate to Ross is very high, but also like they don't really say it too much, but like the rate at which students either fail a class or like out of the program entirely is also very high.
Is it like just that intensive of a program, or the culture shock is just a lot? Or
It's a lot all in itself, just because like with it being it is an accelerated program, and like you do hit the ground running, and like it's a very fast paced program, and I will say that. But I was like, some people are just like struggle with the actual material of the class, and like they aren't able by the time that they have it learned and understood, like it's already like 2 topics behind us.
Mhm.
Other people like it is a really hard thing to be away from home and to be on like on a new island and everything like that. But it's really just depends on the person.
Hmm.
Like there are some people that I genuinely just believe aren't cut out to be doctors.
And
And I know that's a really mean thing to say, but like
no, it should be. And like, don't worry, Reece, I'll take the heat for this. Like, not everyone is cut out to be a vet. Not every person's cut out to be a singer. Not every person is cut out to be a dancer. Not every person is cut out to be a chef. Not every person is cut out to be a scientist. Like, that's not a bad thing. Like, I'm sure, like, it's as someone who initially wanted to be a medical doctor,
mhm.
King's not cut out for it. Like I just can't. Like, I hear all the stuff that like my friends in med school are going through. I'm just like, yeah, would have dropped out. Like, I got out when I should have.
Like yeah, like the material is hard, the study habits are like insane. And like yeah, I definitely know I am not living the healthiest lifestyles right now because everything comes second to school.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah,
like the only thing that doesn't come second to school is my dog.
your poor cat just there.
Okay, cats are hella independent, and let me tell you, this cat, he was found on the side of the road here on the island, and he has stumped two of the veterinarians that are here that are also professors because he is just so weird. I was like, his head is disproportionate. So like one veterinarian was like, whenever he gets older, see if you can get like X-rays of dentition and like how his like mandible lines up with everything like that. The other one was feeling, and I was like, he was like, there may be some form of like chondrodysplasia or even like mild dwarfism. And I was like, that would be cool. But they had all these questions, and I was like, he's a normal cat. Like he is very like curious and playful, like as a kitten, but he's not even 6 months old yet, and he's developed full secondary sex characteristics already.
Oh wow.
Like he's just odd. So that that cat, I literally the story I always tell people whenever they ask about him, I got woken up one night at around 3:30 in the morning because he was like biting my necklace, but he was biting it at the back, so I was literally getting choked by my cat in my sleep.
Oh.
So I was like, that's pretty much his entire personality.
Honestly,
At least he's not boring.
no, I honestly feel like you need that. I feel like you just need a little spice.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because
As
like my
as your boring, regular, not all demanding life.
yeah, and I'll get clearly. And I was like, because I mean, I think it's only fitting because I was like, my dog, he's he's a Dalmatian. He has like all like the pedigree and all that really like stuck up snobby shit that I could go on rants about. And then I was like, and that's my cat. He was found on the side of the road, and I was like, balance.
Is it like I will grow under any conditions? And
Oh,
no, I'm
absolutely.
allergic to tap water.
Yeah, literally. Oh my god, that like I don't know if you can hear him. He's currently still whining nonstop because I'm not giving him attention. The cat, he's probably asleep in the windowsill right now and as doesn't know if I'm alive or dead.
Honestly, my two moods.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it's been really cool, like having my animals here, and then like because as we're like learning stuff in class, like I have my own little models to learn off of.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been an interesting adjustment. I mean, I officially like hit my 1 year anniversary on the island here, and it was like I want to say like December 28th or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I was like, I have things I know my way around the island. I have several locals that like I have conversations with whenever I see them, just like passing a friend in the street. So I mean, it's really cool to kind of look back. I definitely went by fast, um, which is weird because it didn't feel like it was whenever I was like crying, getting ready for an exam.
Yeah. We get older, but the tears before an exam, they stay the same.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they do.
What do you think has been I don't know, like I don't know how to word this, but like now that you have like your animals in grad school, do you kind of wish that you had like animals for like emotional support during undergrad as well? Or like can you tell like a difference in like your mental being or not really?
Um, so I
Sorry, that's a
was
loaded question. You do not have to answer that if you don't want to.
it's so that's one of those things like they changed their policy now. Hanover's fine with it. My rabbit lived in my closet in undergrad.
Okay, I wasn't gonna out you like that or not.
It's like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, they can't do anything to me now. It's fine.
I don't know. You never know how people are. So like,
Right. So I was like, it was one of those things like I have never gone without an animal by my side, except for the first 2 semesters I was here, because Cypress stayed at home, because he had like his breeder. She wanted to take him to a couple shows and see if we couldn't get him closer to finishing his championship title. Looking back, like I would never do it again,
mhm.
just because like I didn't have my dog, who him and I had never spent a full 24 hours apart since the day I got him.
Oh,
And then it was suddenly like we had a full 8 months of where like I didn't get to like obviously like whenever you FaceTime home, your mom's always like, oh yeah, here he is. And like he doesn't understand. Like he hears my voice, but he doesn't know. So not having him here was definitely a very big hurdle that I myself had to get over.
hmm.
Um, but so like I would definitely like always recommend like if you feel like you really do need like a pet by your side, like I'm fully advocating for that. What I don't advocate for is like the fake service animals that people have that like they're not properly trained and they're still taking them like into restaurants and they're causing issues.
That part.
Yeah, because like I have my dog. He I always brag about my dog just because like, and it's not even fully from me. It's just his personality and the fact that he was so easily trainable. Like he grew up as a show dog, so he's been very desensitized to a lot of other animals, other people, other sounds, smells, everything like that. He is great in any setting I can put him in. So whenever he goes out in public, I don't ever have to worry about him. But like whenever we went to the dog park here, there's other students that are actually in the vet program. Um, Cypress actually got bit,
Oh,
and yeah, I was like, luckily, like we got lucky, and like it barely broke the skin. Like it didn't need antibiotics, didn't need stitches, anything like that. Like he had some fur missing on the top of his head and stuff like that. But I was like, I was I was in the vicinity, and like I have him trained enough. Like I let out a very loud, sharp whistle, and like he Cypress wasn't necessarily fighting back, but he was not backing down.
yeah.
Because like I'll be the first one to say like if my dog does something wrong, he's going to get disciplined for it, or I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it and say it wasn't my fault.
Mhm.
But like he was trained enough that like whenever he heard that whistle, he was able to pull away from a dog that was attacking him and come and sit by my side.
Mhm.
And I was like, if you don't have control over your pet, they can't be trusted in those settings. So that was been a really tough thing, especially like the culture here. Like they don't see dogs like as we do in the States. Like they don't abuse their dogs by any means,
Mhm.
but they also don't have their dogs like living in their house, sleeping in their bed, like treating them like children, like how we do, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I was like, it's been a very hard thing because like whenever him and I walk down the street, people are scared of him because he's technically a big dog for down here. And we were warned like in our orientation that they were like, if your dog is going like even excitedly like jumping on someone, like you may have a local like hit or like kick or like swing at your dog because they're scared. And so like that's been a very different thing getting used to as well. Because like walking this down the streets in the US, like anywhere, like people are like, oh my God, a Dalmatian, like let me pet it, like let me do this. And like that's the other thing that I was really grateful for. Like he doesn't mind the attention. But there's always like a lot of hard things like having them here has been different than having them at home, obviously, but for so many different reasons. But I would still never be that far away from him again.
Yeah, I understand. So, well, Reece, we're wrapping it up here, but
Okay.
this is a question I ask all of my guests for season 2, and I would just have to say hypothetically, if you could go back in time and give your past self a piece of advice for your academic and professional career, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, that is a tough one.
I know, so I saved it for the last.
um, I guess looking back and everything like that, I would tell my younger self, I was like, to trust myself more.
Mhm.
Because I was like, what I've heard nonstop since I've gotten here is like, you know more than you think you do. And that really has gotten me through a couple exams. Just because once you get to this level of academics and even starting an undergrad, there's so much material that you can't study everything to the extent that you have to study it.
Mhm.
So I was like, you do what you can. And I was like, you fail one exam or like you fail one assignment, it's not the end of the world. I know it feels like it. And I was so bad about that, even like starting back in high school to undergrad, even now. I've let myself relax and I'm able to enjoy what I'm doing a little bit more because I've never been one to enjoy school. Like, the only reason I'm in higher education is because my dream, like what I've always wanted to do, demanded it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can either like grit in my teeth and like just get through it as best I can, or like I can let myself enjoy it. I may not have perfect grades, but I was like, I still have good grades. And I was like, you can enjoy the process a little bit more.
Mhm.
So like that's definitely what I'd do. Like and just try to enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah. That's such good advice. And I feel like a lot of times, I feel like I definitely was told as a kid, you're gonna look back on your life and you're gonna wish that you worked like a little bit harder and now I'm thinking like, no, I actually wish I worked a little less.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had let the reins like loosened up on the reins just a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know.
Like yeah, like I'm not upset because I got where I got today,
Yeah,
but
that
like
part.
but
Yeah,
it's one of those things where you're like, okay,
yeah. I mean,
could
like,
have you were a little bit much.
yeah, I definitely feel that about myself. And then I'm just like, I got into grad school without needing to met letters of recommendation. I feel like I could have eased up a little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. And I was like, there's, yeah,
Yeah. I gotta stop having type A personality for type B effort.
literally. Oh my god, that can go on a T-shirt and would sell like crazy in upper education.
I I'm so I have a regular Twitter account and then I have a like academic social media account, and I'm
Wasn't
just
sure where you're going with that.
and well, I mean like because like I have like my regular one and then I have like my scholarly one,
Yeah,
and I'm thinking like like if I like put like some of my sayings like on this scholarly Twitter, like I feel like this has potential, but my advisor follows me and like I would like a job, so like someday.
right. It's one of those things because like yeah, you get into the upper education, they harp on professionalism so much, and professionalism is so hard whenever you're naturally just hilarious.
That's up there with be like labor is so hard when you have the face of someone who's pretty.
Right?
Like I oh my gosh, that is so funny. Like, and I don't mean this to be mean, but every professional person I know is boring. Like,
Yeah,
hence why the show is the semi-professional academic podcast. So like people know we get shit
exactly.
done, but we're funny.
Yeah, and like that's it's such a hard line to walk because they harp on it so much, and I was like, yeah, but it's also super boring.
Yeah. Like, if you're boring, just say
Just
that. Like,
say that.
it's okay. Like,
It's like, yeah, just say it, and then we don't have to pretend. Like, I don't have to try to make like this more interesting whenever it's like a sinking ship. Like,
no, and I hate this might get me canceled. Um,
let's hear it. Good thing we're recording.
I know. But I hate those like pick me grad students or like undergrad students. And I've been this person before, so like I get that. But like who will want approval from like a professor or their advisor so bad that
Oh,
they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so funny."
yeah, and it's horrific. And
It's
so like the
horrific.
way you said like so like, the pick me grad students and everything,
Yeah.
like, and especially in the age of TikTok, like you have all the grad students that are like a day in the life of a grad student doing this program, and hopefully no one from Ross listens to this. There's a couple of them that are here, and they do that, and it's like a day in the life of a grad student on the Caribbean island, and I
I made that
like,
kind of video.
oh my god. Okay, well, you're an exception to this, and because I know your academic performance, they're usually not. Um,
Oh. Oh. Oh, that's not.
yeah, I was like, it's like they're in the program, but I was like, are you gonna stay in the program? And it's like, and I hate being that judge, like that judgy, like, because like, but who am I to judge?
No, literally, this entire podcast is like an hour and a half of us just talking absolute shit. But who are we to
But
judge?
who are we to judge?
It's
And because yeah, we were talking about
like
that
leaving your
today.
socks on, like
Yeah, we were literally we were talking about that today, and she was like, yeah, she was making like she was one that made the like TikToks about her life here and here, and then she just made a Facebook post that she had to sell her car because she didn't make it last semester, and we were like, oh, when is she gonna make a TikTok about that?
Ooh, get ready with me to sell my car.
Because that's the terrifying thing about this place. Like, if you don't make it, like, you have an apartment to find, like, to get rid of, a car, everything that you like have, if it can't fit in your suitcases to go home, you sell it. And I was like, that's really scary.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But don't be pick me's. Like,
No, just don't.
yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I totally get like buttering up to a professor to like get a good letter of recommendation or to get like
Yeah, but I was like, let your performance speak for itself, and then your professors will literally like will then see that and kind of like come to you.
yeah. And as someone who like was a pick me for a little bit, it just invited him to be an absolute asshole to me. And then I became a fuck you grad student.
We love those.
Honestly, the character development of me should be studied.
Right? I was like, the rebrand I went through after Hanover, and then like after like a breakup and stuff like that, like this was like biblical proportions.
Hon- Honestly, like I feel like I'm on season 37 of my own life.
Oh, right. And I was like, so like I just got done. So we do it by semesters. So we have the running joke because obviously we're on an island.
Yeah.
So we just, and of course, like we have like Yik Yak and stuff, like the anonymous posting things,
Yeah.
because no one ever really grows up. But it's like the biggest thing is like on today's episode of Total Drama Island,
I
and then
love
it's
that.
just getting someone getting read for filth. Or my personal favorite was back whenever Rossip Girl was a thing.
Oh,
I was obsessed. Like, I wanted to be her so bad.
I love that. I love that so much.
I know. And but I was like, who has the time in grad school to be that involved in other people's businesses?
I Oh my gosh, do you remember the lake list at Hanover?
uh yes.
the amount, I don't know what energy I gave off, but every kind of shady social media thing that popped up, everyone thought I ran every single one of them.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was just like, no, if it was me, I would have come up, it would have been trending like nationwide at this point. Like,
Yeah, it wouldn't have just been like, oh my God, that's funny. No, it would have been everyone would have heard about it.
yeah, like when my Twitter ratio is theirs, I don't think.
Yeah. And it was like, oh yeah, and then Barstool Hanover was always good.
Barstool Hanover literally. No, you know what? Speaking of Twitter, I remember one time I got really shady with you because I tweeted a picture of like Reese's Pieces, and I call them Reese's Pieces, and you're like, as someone with my name on this,
I remember this. Yeah, because we
I
did talk about like how to pronounce it, or like Reese's or like Reese's. And I
yeah,
was like, I feel like I have the final say in this.
and I want you guys to know after he tweeted that, and I replied with LOL, okay, he blocked me on Twitter for a year.
Did I really?
Yes, you blocked me on Twitter for a year.
Oh, I don't even oh my God. I was such a fucking twerp.
Yeah, and I was just in that point, I was just like, you know what, we could be friends. Now I have to destroy. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? I'm gonna wait a couple years, invite him on my podcast, and just destroy him.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun.
You have too much power in like the sound bites that I've given you to edit some unhinged shit.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I brought someone on who like I absolutely hate to be like, I'm so impressed with all your work.
It's like I am just so proud of everything you did. So what's it like exceeding everyone's expectations of you because they started off so low?
You'd be like, you are so brave, having done nothing with your life and looking like that, and still going
With the
out
ego
talking.
that you have, just wow.
I hope
I would I would love to know where you got the lifetime supply of the fucking audacity.
I I would love to know how you keep such a balance of being so ugly and the talent of a snail.
Yeah, yeah, just you're talentless, you're just not pretty to look at, and nothing you say is ever coherent. Tell me a little bit about that.
I pull up like a card to be like, so your your skills include.
Just going that full rabbit sheet. Basically, I would like to say, uh,
But who are we to judge?
but who are we to judge? Exactly. Mm. Who are we to judge?
Oh,
Literally, it might as well be freaking Trixie and Katya or Rue and Michelle.
oh, wait, who's who though?
Honestly, like I feel like if we were doing Trixie and Mattel, I'm more in your face unhinged, and you're more subtly unhinged. So I was like, I feel like you're definitely going to be like Trixie, and I'd have to be Katya on that one.
Mhm. Well, at least one of us wins Drag Race.
Oh, oh.
No, 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 but like Katya is so much more beloved by the fandom. Like it's not even a contest.
And I was like, the stuff that that woman says.
Oh, the the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent of that woman.
It's I don't I it
Study.
needs to be studied.
Like I could write a whole PhD defense
Oh
on.
my God, right?
Yeah. I don't want to be I don't want to be RuPaul and Michelle because honestly, I feel like whoever's Michelle will like have like a growing resentment to the other one.
Why can you literally see it from like the start of the series to now? It's just like it's like two people that are married that just grow to hate each other.
Yeah. Where happened to Merle Ginsburg? Uh, I would love to be Brooklyn, host Canada's Drag Race.
There you go. I mean, that's one that's just not problematic. And
Oh my gosh. My favorite for that season just won, and I'm so excited.
I say my best friend, one of my best friends down here on the island. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go on record and say my best friend here on the island. We're going with it.
Oh, official.
It's official.
Yeah.
Her name is her name is Mary Morgan. Literal, like, when I tell you she's vet school Barbie, like drop dead stunning gorgeous, was a pageant girl, all of it.
She was.
Like, she is, and she's smart. She's she makes me feel like an idiot, and I hate her for it, but I don't because I'm obsessed with her. Her and I just have weekly date nights to watch RuPaul's Drag Race because no one else on this island has any culture and wants to watch it with us.
It's hard being trailblazers, but someone's got to do it.
Right, and it's literally like everyone else was at the bar, like at the bar. We were laying in her bed, had face masks and margaritas and wine glasses, and we were dragging some of these new queens to filth. And every time it's like, but who are we to judge?
Yeah. I love Mirage. I love Mirage.
Yeah.
But
like
all that being said though, because we do have to wrap it up. We got like 5 minutes left on the Zoom.
We've been running through these Zoom minutes.
Honestly, this is like the content I think my fans will love. Editing this is going to be so fun.
I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, this episode probably, like, while I'm thinking about this, just like wasting time as if we don't have like an actual show to wrap up.
Right.
So,
and I was like, I don't think we can call this one semi-professional even. Like, I don't even think it was semi.
I mean, I don't know if you watched my episode with Sean, but like, good God, like that, the faggotry was so high in that episode. It was insane.
And you need that. Like in the house of STEM, we need more just high gay.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
So time to wrap it up now, though. But Reece, thank you so much for joining us today. Putting the semi in the semi-professional podcast today.
Yes.
It was so fun chatting with you. I wish you the best of luck on the island. I know you're gonna kill it. Little jealous. Send like the warmth down here. We're projected to get -23 wind chills at the time of this filming. So,
oof.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers are with you. Our coldest is usually high 70s.
Oh, fuck you. Not all opinions need to be said.
not all opinions need to be heard. Exactly.
Oh,
but no, in all seriousness, I had a blast. Like, this was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I glad you had fun. Is there
I look forward to hearing the final draft.
Oh, yeah. Watch it. Reece hates it and then like pulls a Taylor and be like, podcast episode.
It's like, oh, well, time to start my reputation era.
Oh, I'm so excited. Like, I'm sorry to everyone who got annoyed with me with Taylor Swift in 2023. It's only going to get worse.
I was like, and I'm an Ari girl, so we're not much better.
A collab I need.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm still pushing for Ariana Grande and Kelly Clarkson.
Yes, please. A whole album, please.
Whole album.
Yeah. But Reece, is there anything you would like to say to the people before we get kicked off in like 55 seconds?
Just really quick. If you're working through academics, don't quit. There's always going to be setbacks, or maybe there won't be, and you're lucky. But whether there's setbacks or you're flying through it, enjoy what you're doing and see it through. Like, because everyone has what they're meant to do, and you know what that's supposed to be.
Well said. Well said.
Right.
Well, Reece, thank you so much again. And to everyone at home, as always, I am your host, Jacob Watts, and who am I to judge? Have a good night, everyone. Bye.